Hey everybody, this is Thomas with True Reporting, and I'm here with Sean, and he is from his YouTube channel Corticon, and had a big day yesterday, my friend, didn't you?
Sure did. We all did.
Yeah, it was a big day. We had we had Q post coming out. Q hasn't posted. It's been what, about 10 days, maybe 12 days. I can't remember the last time he posted, but
It was the 13th. It was 7 days.
7 days. Okay, so we had 7 days without Q, and he came at us with about four posts, and one of those was pretty pretty incredible for you, because it was of General Flynn's Twitter header, and it was a picture that you took, which is pretty crazy that you tweeted at him and he used. How stoked were you when you saw that?
Honestly, pretty stoked. Very stoked. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a big fan of Michael Flynn, as I'm sure you are, and
Oh yeah.
thousands, millions of other people are.
Oh yeah.
A little backstory though. Do you know the flag that Q posted? Probably
Yeah.
two months ago. Yeah, and Michael Flynn also had it at the end of his speech, his most recent speech. Michael Flynn used that.
Correct.
That was my original background forever.
Oh my
And
God, man.
I actually changed it because it's a great picture of a flag, and a lot of people used it as their background. And I like to try to be a trendsetter or whatever. So I
Hmm.
moved away from that. And then Michael Flynn's last header head, not the one that he has now,
Hmm.
is a still screenshot from a different video of mine. But I chose not to speak about that one
Hmm.
just because, out of respect, and obviously I don't communicate with him. I was like, hey, is it okay if I talk about this?
Yeah, man. Well, what that tells me is I think he follows you. Well, he definitely looks on your Twitter. He probably watches your videos. These guys aren't, machines. They're looking to see what civilians are doing too, what they're following, what they're researching. So he may have his eyes on you, man, which is really mind blowing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I have immense respect for General Michael Flynn and the Flynn family. I actually started a YouTube channel in 2013, inspired from him,
Whoa.
fighting against Obama.
Hmm.
I've been trying to help out as much as I could for as long as I can, and General Michael Flynn is definitely an inspiration of mine. Uh, we all remember when Obama was president. I was always blown away by the fact that one of the most powerful names in government happened to be a Democrat, and he was fighting against Obama. So I always had mad respect for Michael Flynn.
Well, it makes him legitimate, He's not handled by anyone. He's his own man. So, what a great um, person to be followed by, man. The dude is who he says he is. He's not a phony, which is, makes it that much more credible. It's just very cool stuff to see and hear about. So have you been following Q since the beginning? Is that how?
I so what a, since I've been following Michael Flynn since the beginning is
Mhm.
really how I would state it.
Mhm.
I voted, or I supported Donald Trump because Michael Flynn supported him.
Mhm.
And then when I researched Michael Flynn from years prior, and the dude is skilled in the art of psychological warfare, espionage, a lot of things that Q is into. And I remember
Definitely
clearly,
part of the Q team.
I've actually went out of my way to say the opposite.
Mhm.
Um, Michael Flynn's book, The Field of Fight. I made a post on Twitter. It's actually pinned right now, where I state that I don't think Flynn has anything to do with Q or QAnon, and his book liked it. So I tried to go out of my way to respect General Michael Flynn as
Mhm.
a person, and
Sure.
so I don't make any assumptions about that. But one thing that I do know is that when the Mueller investigation took off, and they pinned Michael Flynn with, we're talking about the Rushland. Not only is obviously a false investigation to begin with,
Yeah.
knowing Michael Flynn, he's way too intelligent to let something like that happen unless it was on purpose. So ever since the day that happened, I pretty much was like, all right, there's another reason that this is going on, and it never bothered me. And then obviously we had the Las Vegas shootings, and then I was watching Donald Trump, the calm before the storm. I watched that. I was really big into watching. I've always been big into watching news and but now I'm a lot bigger just from listening to Q. But
Yes.
as soon as Trump said the calm before the storm, that was October 5th, and then remembering Michael Flynn and the Mueller investigation, was like, all right, there's obviously a plan going on here. Trump is surrounded, including himself, with 23 military generals. So I just kind of was like on cruise control, knowing that there was an awesome plan in the background. And then I heard of Q. Alex Jones kind of put me off to Q, and I'll leave it at that. I don't want to like hog up all the time, but
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. I'm listening because
yeah.
I don't know you. Like, I don't know you.
So
I reached out to you this morning,
right on.
and then here we are.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. I really appreciate that. I'm all about connecting and trying to unite patriots. That's like my number one cause, my number one goal. And my channel, this name, this Corticon, it was something else. I've been using this name since 2010 or 2012. I can't remember what my YouTube says, but my name is the definition of trolling evil. Like that's always been my number one goal. I love trolling evil, and
yes, it's very easy to do, and it's extremely fun.
Oh man, it's so great, dude. But to put a long story short, when I decided to go all in for Q, I had a pretty good idea of the plan, and I went out of my way to set up things the way that I thought would be the best. And I'm not gonna lie, at the very beginning, I sent Michael Flynn a direct message. I said, I'm going to use my Corticon channel that's already, I only had 1,000 subscribers, but it was established for something totally different than politics. And I was like, I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to delete every video, and then I'm going to rebuild it the same way that you and Trump have. And I was like, I think I ended the message with like, hold my beer to watch this, just trying to be funny.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. And so I deleted all of my videos, and I made a video about it. And it's actually my very first video on this channel, or this new, whatever.
Yeah. The one you've been doing since, you switched over. You erased all your videos, started fresh.
Yes.
And, that's crazy, man. Like, the way that it worked with me was, last, I don't know, it was around last Christmas. And I was like, listen, I made a pact to myself. I said, I know a lot about this stuff. I don't just do politics. I do, consciousness, and I do, UFOs. I do paranormal stuff. But I also follow Q, and it was just kind of, I didn't know anything about YouTube. I didn't know anything about doing anything of this sort of thing. And then people started liking the content. It builds up, and then you start getting a feel for it. I invest a lot of time. I know you do too. This is a lifestyle. It really is, following this movement, making friends, talking about things. We're a truther community that is bulldozing its way into the mainstream, breaking down the mainstream, breaking down the cabal, breaking down the barriers to eventually get to the normies, for lack of a better term. We are making strides made, I think, created by this team of generals and Trump and people he's surrounded by. And this is just it's really special, man. I can't really put words to it, really. It's very special that I'm talking to you. I've talked to Jordan Sather. I've talked to Neon Revolt. I talked to Serial Brain too. I didn't ever think I would be talking to these people. It's crazy. Dustin Nemos also. But I feel like this is a really good community. And besides the shills, and the trolls, I wouldn't have it any other way. I know you feel the same way, man. It's a great thing to be a part of. I wanted to get you some questions because I don't want to hold you up. I know we both have things to do, and I wanted to talk about a couple Q posts. The one that had to do with December 5th, referencing Huber going after the Clinton Foundation. I have a question for you. So this has just been leaked. I believe it was from The Hill. Has this investigation been ongoing and now it's just being leaked to the public, or is this just the initial start of it? What do you think about that? And I knew you had something to say about that December 5th date too.
I briefly read that Hill article, but if you go back, if memory serves me right, I don't know who the Hill was quoting. I don't know which side of the party it was, but they were talking about the fact that, Huber's been appointed for a year now and nobody knows what he's been actually doing.
Right.
So there was a lot of concern from somebody. I didn't read the fine details, but in my mind, the way it's always been working is, obviously they got to take their time to get the judges, everybody in place, because you cannot prosecute these people with corrupt judges in place. So that took a lot of time, and that's been their main focus. And then now, Sessions did his part, his role, and now that Whitaker is in place, he has no strings to this whole Russian stuff. There's nobody that can tell him to stop. And Huber and the 470 lawyers and the Attorney General, or the IG and all that, I 100% think that there's been something going on in the background, and the Russia was the distraction, and even maybe the cover, where I don't know the logistics of it, but if you have a federal case by the FBI, who's allowed to read the transcripts? Like let's say, I don't want to use names, but we'll just say John Doe goes and talks to Mueller, and I'm sure people in that meeting are recording the meeting. Now I know everybody's got top secret clearance, but who's allowed to read those meeting notes, right? I don't know.
Right.
And so they could be talking about anything. And it could be about about Hillary, Obama, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's always been my thought.
So you think this has been an ongoing investigation? That's what you're saying?
I from everything I know, and I'm sure you know, and your viewers know, Donald Trump was plan A. Plan B, Plan B was to let whatever happen, and then the military was going to just take over. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But that would cause everybody that's delusional with Hillary, because they do a pretty good job controlling the sheep. But that'd be a lot of upset people, and it would most likely cause a civil war. To be a lot of unneeded lives lost. So that's not the best option to have. And Plan C was to just take Obama out while he was president. So I don't know when Trump was contacted. It appears like a long time ago, but I think that he was plan A, and obviously he's got a lot in the game. He's an American. He loves America. He's got a family, and he's doing it out of the love of country. And at the same time, I believe he was asked.
I believe he was asked also. We've been doing this for a little while now, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. I wanted to ask you, what do you think the end of the year holds for us? Do you think we will see arrests? Do you think we will see disclosure coming forward about the Clinton Foundation? Or do you think we'll keep waiting until the next year before we start seeing anything? I'm not saying nothing has happened, because many, many things have happened. Dealing with North Korea, dealing with Q posts that have come forward, Q proofs rather. But do you think we'll see arrest, John Podesta, Tony Podesta, these high-level arrests? Do you think we'll see it, or do you think we're going to need to wait till January?
I think that, for one, for me personally, I try not to put any expectations, but I totally understand what you're asking, because I think those things. But I think the possibility of the Podesta brothers, Debbie Wasserman Schultz, maybe even Hillary, I totally believe that a lot of high-level people are going to get indicted, and some of the truths are going to come out. But I try to put on my hat of not a person and think of it like like logically. We are a country, and we're America. What type of president, or what would it show the rest of the world if we, even us, allowed, like, let's say we do believe that Obama is not an actual American and all these things did happen. What does that say about us as a country if we did that and then we exposed it live, right? So
It's an embarrassment.
right. And so as a mature thought and as a military thinker might think, that might not be the best road to take, but and we might not be happy with that. But either way, I would just be happy if some people just stopped talking, never came back, and nobody really asked many questions why.
And then they were replaced by actual patriots. I didn't mean full disclosure on a mainstream media level, but I meant through like I believe that open source, we have full open source on the internet. If it's released through, the Q board or through 4chan or 8chan, and they're like, yeah, go check this out. There's video out there supposedly of Huma Abedin and Hillary Clinton. That gets released out there. It gets taken back off just to see how the public is going to react to it, I believe. But, I see what you're saying that, if you just want to see them quietly go away, never to be seen from again, and then they're replaced by people who actually give a damn about this country, the greatness has no limits. It has no bounds when we erase the evil and replace it with good, hardworking patriots. But my friend, I just wanted to tell you, I really appreciate you doing this for me. I don't want to keep you too long, like I said. If you want to do some plugs, tell us something, how to reach you, how to get in touch with you, who to follow, and I'll do the same, and then we can, bounce out.
No, I guess my name's Corticon. It's pretty easy to find me with that Corticon, and I just say try to be rational and not over. And this is not directed towards you. This is just
Sure,
because I know you see it as well. That's been my biggest concern and my biggest message to people is to try not to dwell on a date. Everybody's talking now. The D5 one, that's a great date. That's also Michael Flynn's birthday, and there's a lot of coincidences and a lot of similarities. But I know that you know this just as well as I do. If we, which we're just common men and women, if we can see what Q says, the world can. So that's not a great way to win a war. There does need to be lots of this information, and we will know if things happen the way that we wanted them to happen. I don't know how they're going to happen though, and it could be there could be hung in Times Square and everybody sees, or not. I don't know.
Yeah. Only time will tell, my friend. If you guys want to reach me or follow me, you can go to True Reporting on Twitter. Follow me there. And check out my YouTube channel also, True Reporting. Got tons of videos. I follow Q, Neon Revolt, Serial Brain 2. Been doing this since the beginning. And Sean, thank you so much for doing this, man. I know this was last minute. I think we did a great job. And, where we go one, we go all, my friend.
The pleasure has been all mine, Thomas.
Good, man.
Yeah, and just to tell everybody, like, that's awesome that General Flynn shared my background. But it was an acknowledgement to all of us that they watch. We are with you. There's nothing to
great point, man. That's a great point to end off. Like I said, guys, you can find him, Corticon on Twitter. True Reporting on Twitter is me. Thanks for watching, everybody. I appreciate it. We'll see you later. Bye.
Peace.